It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Folks, welcome to a special edition of the Sam Lesante Show. Remember, if you're watching us in the greater Hazleton area on Service Electric Cablevision, we are now HD 513. Tune us in if you have an HD TV. Folks, when I say special edition, we all know the major concern we have in the greater Hazleton area with our crime, our police department, and the direction we want to move. You just, over the weekend, you saw a beautiful article in the Standard Speaker, what we're doing downtown and developing it and making this town look great, okay? And it's, I think, a great tribute. However, we have some serious concerns. We have a concern with our police department. We want to move ahead. And my guest today is the current chief, Jerry Speziale, and Mayor Jeff Cusat is here, and I appreciate them coming on the show. First of all, Jerry, I got to tell you, what an impressive evening it was at the Pines when We Are Hazleton, supporting the Hazleton Police Department event was held. I mean, I very seldom go to any event, but I went there only because of Jeff and you and the people that were running it, okay, and the community, okay. I was extremely impressed by the public that was there. What was your reflection?
You know, I was just so humbled and honored to see the massive amount of just everyday folk. It was the community that came out. It was so many people from the city of Hazleton that were just there to say, I want to support, you know, taking part in this. It was just tremendous, Sam. I can't tell you how impressed I was. I've never seen anything like that. In 35 years of law enforcement, I've never seen the public come out, you know, with such support for law enforcement.
Well, there's a lot of diversification there too. There was all different people there. What were they telling you, Jerry?
You know, everybody has their own ideas. Everybody has one common thing. It's about the common good. It's about, you know, having a safer city. It's about a safer Hazleton. It's about reducing crime. You know, everybody wants to work with the police department, wants to be engaged. So that's a good thing. It's all about collaboration. It's all about partnerships. It's all about everybody working together. And that message was loud and clear, just based on the amount of people that were there, just, you know, for the sole purpose of supporting public safety.
It was nice to see the former mayor there, Joe Yanezi and his wife.
I did see the former mayor.
And they've always participated in anything that was good for the city. Jerry, let's go back and let the viewers know, if they missed the first show we did, you know, who is Jerry Speziale, okay, and what did you do in Patterson, are doing, and what do you want to bring to this area? I know Jeff was 100% in creative, different ideas. So tell me what you achieved there and what expertise you're bringing here in the Hazleton area.
What we do you know, look, I come from the New York City Police Department. Was a 3-term county police chief or county sheriff in Passaic County, which is Patterson in it. And then being in charge of the Patterson Police Department right now, what we were able to do is we were able to reduce violent crime. We were able to reduce homicides. We were able to reduce all crime overall, when other cities throughout the state of New Jersey and throughout the nation seen 100% increases. How did we do that? We've done it by hotspot policing. We've done it by doing data policing, by using data to predict where crimes may occur. We've used community policing concepts by parking and walking, Cooper's Curve, and other things of that nature. There's a number of things that we're doing. Now we're doing the Safe City Initiative. Tomorrow I will be in Newburgh, New York, and I will watch as the city of Newburgh rolls out this Safe City Initiative there, which we are rolling out in Patterson, which I like to see rolled out here in Hazleton. It's where you find out that 1 to 2% of your population is your criminal element. And what you do is you go through what we call Ceasefire University. You identify that 1 or 2% of the criminal element, and you call them out. And you bring them to a location, and you sit down, and you have a talk with them, and you have a social service entity side, and you have a law enforcement side with the federal, state, and local authorities. And then what we do is when we identify them, we pretty much tell them that today's shooter is tomorrow's victim, and tomorrow's victim is the next day's shooter. And what we do is we identify all those people, and we put them into groups. And it's called a group focus deterrent. So how does it work, Sam? It It works like this. Identify your criminals, put them in a room, tell them you know what they do, and let them know. We're here to give you help. If you're addicted to drugs, we're going to put you into a rehab. If you don't have housing, we're going to get you social assistance. However, if you walk out of this room, the first body that drops, gun that goes off, or drug deal that goes down on the corner, we're coming after the group. And we're going to focus on the group until we dismantle or disrupt that entire group. And that's called the focused deterrent. And it works. It's being done in Chicago, Birmingham, Savannah, Patterson. As I said, Newburgh will kick it off tomorrow. I'll be there till midnight tomorrow night learning on their first calling. But these are the types of 21st century policing concepts that need to be done. Technology. Eyes on Hazleton, eyes on Patterson. We have where you can connect your outside cameras to our police cameras and then have it projected to our police cars. So now imagine a police car is driving down the road here on a main street, but can see a camera over on Alter Street. It's just 21st century technology with the text for tips, with the opening of the window that the mayor wanted. All of those things together have reduced crime by double digits.
So now, start putting this into effect. What do you need to start putting this into effect, Jerry?
Well, obviously, you need resources. So in order to do this, this new group that's trying to raise us money will help us to get that technology piece and the vehicles that we'll need to do it.
So if you were looking at, they did very well, I understand. I know specific numbers, but let's say they gave you $50,000.
Sure.
Okay. What would you able to do with that $50,000?
That $50,000, I would use a vendor, and I would go with police interceptors. I would go with traditional black and white, so we change the image so that the criminal element recognizes it, so that the public sees us, and there's a better omnipresence of police. I'd go with technology inside of those vehicles, so now you can see those cameras from the vehicles. You can also do your police work out in the field instead of coming back to police headquarters. It's just more of an omnipresence out into the neighborhoods. There's no quality of life if your homes and neighborhoods aren't safe.
Period.
So that's how you start to make this work. And then you have to have the manpower. I talked about this focused deterrent. Well, I have a focused deterrent team in Patterson with 6 members. Those 6 members, when the group doesn't listen, those 6 members go and shut your illegal cable off, shut your illegal electric off, hit you for quality of life crimes, hit you for what we call TCOPs or TCOPs, which are city ordinances for blocking public passageways, for loitering for the purpose of narcotics, towing vehicles that are coming to buy drugs, hitting the demand, hitting the supply, hitting everything you can to make sure that that criminal element, you lock them down. And when you lock them down, the crime goes away. That's just the way it works. It's just 21st century policing. It's not rocket science.
When we're looking at the resources, okay, now, and Jeff is coming up with some solutions here. You need more cops.
Yeah.
We've been hearing this since when you were on the council, Jeff, okay? We need more cops. And it seems that sometimes people that came to that event understand this, okay?
Sure.
And I'm going to have Jeff break it down as to what it would cost to get 10 more cops on the force. And so, Jeff, let's talk about that, okay? Let's say it's $100,000 per cop, which I think you told me today, okay? So we get.
It could be less.
Well, let's be comfortable.
But an easy number.
So let's say it's $100,000 per cop. We need 10 cops, and that's $1 million. Okay, how does the city of Hazleton pay for that?
Well, eventually, it looks like the state, the only revenue, any revenue that we cannot regenerate this year, the only really option we have is property tax. So the average home in Hazleton is valued at $61,000. So in essence, it would cost each home $6, the average home, $6 per year per officer that we would hire. So if we hire 5 officers, it would be, say, $30 for that average home. If it was 10 officers, it would be $60 for that average home. Now, that's all saying that we don't have revenue from other places. I mean, we have some ideas that we've been rolling out. We have a few more that will be coming out in the next few months. But worst case scenario, that's what it would have to be. And I'm pretty confident that we're going to have some revenue sources in place by the end of this year to help with the future. But that's where the numbers would break down. Now, obviously, the budget has passed. Our opportunity to tax for 2016 is gone. Therefore, there's not many options we have for now. If we would hire somebody now, we would maybe have to take an anticipation or a borrowing of unfunded debt to move forward. But worst case scenario, that's what it would come out of.
So the way I see this, and Jerry, we could give you 10 more cops, and then what you just said and what you want to achieve, which has been proven successful already. So you have a formula coming in here that has already been successful, okay? Now I have a home, let's say I own a residence in Hazleton, all right? I think if you talk to realtors, the values of our properties have been decreasing because of crime and all this other stuff, okay? So if you come in and you straighten this out and you reduce this, okay, to me it would look like our city is getting better. Maybe the values of homes will rise. So if I have a home which is average and it's 60,000, you know, assessed at 60,000, all right, and I cannot give you $60 more to raise my value and plus have a city again, you're never going to have anything 100% perfect, but at least the perception that we're going to bring it up again. Maybe I spoke to a couple of councilmen and they said, no, we can't tax them because people are doing this. And I understand that, but I don't know if $60 is an investment with the kind of return you're going to get.
It's the investment.
It's an investment that you're in your city, okay?
Absolutely.
I think the general public right now, I know I started the show saying, look what they're doing downtown, what the Alliance is doing. I mean, this downtown is going to look beautiful, okay? So now we need you guys, okay, the police force, to help to make that happen. Jeff, you said as a councilman, okay, would you have been in favor of raising the millage, 1 mil, to generate the $1 million?
I wasn't totally opposed to it. I didn't like the way that the former mayor was going to go around about raising the increase. So I wasn't totally against it. I felt that there was some other revenue sources that could have been implemented. I tried a few, they were shot down. So like I said, this is the worst case scenario. I mean, I'm still hoping to be able to push some of my revenue ideas through this year, which will be in place by 17, which would drop that number that what we need. But I'm just saying worst case scenario going on what has happened in the last 2 years with some of the revenue ideas that I have to move forward.
How do we broaden the thinking, creative thinking of our city? Because you see, I may not like Jerry, but I like his ideas. I like what he has accomplished. It's like a doctor. You may not like that doctor, but that's the doctor who has the wherewithal to take care of you, okay? How do we get rid of this pettiness, okay, that exists, that just continues to bring us down, okay? How do you do that, Jeff, as a mayor?
Well, we just got to communicate with the people. We got to understand what they want, what they're willing to give us. I mean, people got to realize that your value is going to continue to go down. That with the projections the city is going now, it's going to go down. So if you have to make an investment to freeze your value or bring your value up, you have to, be willing to do that.
I don't know of anyone that I know of, and I think the people that spoke to you, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, okay? I mean, I'm going to have an increase here, not a humongous increase with my building, but I don't know of anyone out there who is a resident in this town who would say, for $60 to get 10 more cops and to do what Jerry Speziale wants to done, okay, man, I'd make sure I'd be getting that $60. Folks, I'm talking to our chief, Jerry Speziale, and Mayor Jeff Cusat. As this city goes, so does the entire area go, folks. We are the pillar here. And so why it's so important to show that support that we need to the police department. Check them out. You can Google them. Everything he said is there. We'll be back right after this. Thanks for staying with us, folks. You're watching a special edition of the Sam Lesante Show. Remember, ssptv.com. You can watch all of our programs. And my email is sam@ssptv.com. If you want to email me, please give me your comments. We get a lot of comments after shows like this. This is a special edition of the Sam Lesante Show with Chief Jerry, our police chief in Hazleton, Chief Jerry Speziale, and Mayor Jeff Cusat. So far, how long you been here? I mean, how long?
I've been here since, really working with the mayor since November.
Yeah, I mean, so it's November. What have you implemented so far?
God, text for tips, the new police department website. We've taken down the window. We've started to collect the data from what we call crimereports.com, the data of all the crimes so that we can do crime mapping throughout the city with the technology. We're working on the technology piece. There's so many things that we have going
So
already.
here, I mean, officially you've been the chief.
Officially, I've been here for since January 7th.
Okay.
Yeah, so in 1 month.
But yeah.
We got the Facebooks are up. The Twitter. We got the Twitter.
Twitter.
You
Now
know.
the
We've been
text
doing
for
text for
tips,
tips.
is that working right now?
That's working.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I have a cell phone,
Yeah.
okay, do I need an app?
You can get the app if you'd like. If you have a smartphone,
Yeah.
you can download Submit a Tip
Submit a tip.
from Public Engines. It's
Okay.
free.
Okay.
Select the Hazleton Police Department, and you're in.
I'm in. So
And then if you don't, you can just simply send the word My Tips with no space, and whatever your tip is, and you send it to the word crimes, which is 274-637. So you text My Tips to the word crimes, 274-637. Within 3 seconds, we have it.
And so therefore, if I see something happening as a citizen, okay, no matter what time it is, I could just go there and text and say, there's something going on here in such and such street. I feel
It's not to surpass 911.
Oh,
It's
yes.
to help prevent or solve a crime. So it's
Give me an example of what.
what it is it's drug deals that are happening on a specific street corner, a house that is selling drugs, a burglary that occurred and you know who did it. These are after the fact, so that we can then develop investigative leads to stop these crimes from occurring in these neighborhoods. That's what this is all about. This is to help stop or prevent a crime,
Okay.
or solve.
Now, what about my privacy? I mean, if I text you from my phone, okay,
Don't know who you are.
You don't know that it came from my cell phone.
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
All I get is a number. I get a 4-digit number, so you may send to me, you might be number 1279.
Okay.
You'll be 1279 for the next 10 years,
Yeah.
but I don't know who you are.
Okay.
The reason that you keep 1279 is so that if you start providing reliable leads, I can then use you in the court to say that I don't know who 1279 is, but we've made 15 arrests based on 1279.
I got it.
And then I can get search warrants and things to be able to help us in the law enforcement field.
And then you have this working in Patterson.
This works in Patterson. We have led the state in gun seizures, in illegal gun seizures. We've made large-scale drug seizures and arrests. We've solved crimes with it. We use it. We've been using this for the past year and a half. It's been very fruitful. I used it in 2 other police departments prior to that. This is the technology of the future. It works great. Or if you don't have a smartphone, go on HazletonPolice.com and just hit submit a tip. Same way, we'll talk back and forth to you. Goes through the same system.
Taking down the wall, whatever, at City Hall. Jeff, what was your reason for that?
Communication again. It all goes back like when I was a child. My mom always said, if you have a problem, you go to City Hall. So therefore, it always bothered me that the wall was put up. People should be able to go to City Hall as a safe haven. If somebody's in trouble, they should be able to run to their City Hall, go there and know they're going to be protected and they're going to be made safe. There's no reason that you should get there, have to pick up a red phone, dial 911 and wait for somebody to come off the street. That's safety factor. Now, the other reason was we're wasting so much man time. If somebody comes into City Hall, they call 911, we bring an officer off the street, they're saying something happened in Hazel Township. So now we just brought the guy in off of patrol to say you have to go to the state police or West Hazleton. You know, my purse was stolen. Okay, here's a form. You know, so that small stuff, we're dragging the men off the streets to handle something that they shouldn't have to handle.
Correct.
So that's hurting our patrol. You know,
And it's the barrier. Think about it. You're building a wall. In the age of police legitimacy being the most important aspect of policing, us being seen as legitimate with the community, there's a wall between us. Come on, think about if I put a wall right between us right now. How would you feel? You wouldn't feel like we were disconnected?
Yeah, absolutely. So what happens if someone comes in there at 2 o'clock in the morning, they run into City Hall, is there someone there then?
Yeah, we have somebody there now. We've been using the cadets,
Yeah,
and we've been using some of our own personnel. The cadets have been free doing community service. It's worked great. And they're also learning about police work. They're also maybe future Hazleton police officers, so it's really worked, you know, both ways for us. They're getting training. We're getting, you know, people that are going to be future police officers.
So getting back to financing, okay, where we need 10 cops. And that's roughly about $1 million, and you're looking at an average household paying $60 on their taxes. That'll provide 10 cops, $60 average. Some maybe 85 or 100, okay, but doesn't go really that. I don't know. We have the average assessment here is $61,000. Okay. The other question we ask is how about your current expenses? Are you watching your current expenses? Are you able to get money from different places or cutting here, et cetera? I know you don't want to cut too far into the bone, but what are you doing to save some money?
I'm trying everything I can right now to save on expenses. Everybody says, you know, we're wasteful. Recently, we borrowed money off of ourselves instead of taking a tax anticipation note. Saved us about $30,000. I'm working with the payroll system now, trying to go from 26 pay periods down to 24. It'll give us clean cuts on the quarters and the monthly, and it's going to save a little over 8% on administration and the production costs. Trying to go to direct deposits to save time on stuffing envelopes and stuff. So all the little things that I've been working on to try to cut down on expenses. I changed the locks at City Hall to use key fobs instead of hard keys, which hard keys are more expensive than the fobs. So like just little things like that you would do with your own business, you know, to cut costs. I took over some of the central purchasing I've been doing myself to save on paper products and supplies like that. So I've been watching, like I said, I'm going to watch your money like it was my own. And
Yeah. Jeff, the airport, okay,
Yes.
which a lot of great things are happening up there, and hopefully we're going to do what we talked about before. What's the story about the windmills?
Solar panels.
I'm sorry, solar panel.
There's a company that expressed interest in 140 acres. They're going to start leasing land off of us. The surveyors are coming this week to survey and see which land they could use. They're going to start leasing the land as is for the first year. It's going to increase every year. Hopefully by the third or fourth year, we have fully developed, which will then generate about $140,000 per year in just to rent the land. By them coming in there, they're also going to help us with the infrastructure to the backside of the airport. So it'd be a win-win.
So you're exploring additional revenue.
We're doing that. Also up there, we're going to make a secondary hub for the transit department. So hopefully by late this year, early next year, you can pick up the bus system up there, the transit system, to put a secondary hub up there, and looking to put shelters and stuff up there.
Folks, I'm talking to Jerry Speziale, who is the current chief of police here in Hazleton, and Mayor Cusat. We'll be back right after these messages. Thanks for staying with us, folks. It's a special edition of Sam Lesante Show with our chief, Jerry Speziale, and Mayor Cusat. I want to thank the both of you for coming on the show. And Jeff, you're certainly holding up to your promises, keeping us informed. And Jerry, I know you've been busy, and I appreciate you coming on the show.
My pleasure.
You watch the show 24/7, folks, on ssptv.com. But for all of those of you who are supporting the police department, we say thank you very much. We really appreciate that very much. We'll see you next time.